interesting thing happened to me yesterday. I was looking through my closet when I came across my old stash of video game magazines, my collection, and I thought it would be rather interesting to make an episode about them. So this episode of the Shadow Parliament will be about video game magazines and the fact that you don't really see this kind of thing anymore. You don't do this kind of thing anymore. So this is going to be an uncut episode, unrehearsed. I'm going to open up the bag and I'm going to talk about anything that I come across. And it's definitely going to be a nostalgic trip. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one to have actually bought these magazines or read them. So chances are you, the viewer, would have actually seen these magazines as well. Okay, well, I've just sorted out the magazines. I doubt that you wanted to see that, but from what I can see, there may be more than, I may have to do more than one episode, or maybe turn this episode into multiple parts, because, you know, all these, they definitely deserve to be discussed. I mean, we're gonna really go back in time over here. I can say for a fact that I have roughly 1995 through 1999, and I have like multiple magazines, like from GamePro, GameFan, EGM, EGM2, and Nintendo Power. I'm gonna start with the first one. This one. I mean, I was actually subscribed to GamePro, but I remember my mother, she actually bought this for me. I came out of school one day and she had a bag full of stuff that she went to the supermarket with, and she told me that, you know, this is for you. And I don't remember much, but it was just a magazine, so I read it. It was really interesting. Alright, look at this. The arcades. Hot at the arcades. Who goes to the arcades anymore? No one goes to the arcades. This is like X-Men. I mean, I remember playing this. It's like, I used to play as Cyclops and I used to get beat. Because there was this guy who played as Spiral and he beat me with her. Damn. Sometimes you just gotta, like, wonder, you know, what were people doing? Was this the 90s or something? You know? Oh my god. Whenever I used to see these kinds of cool articles, I was like, man, I have to have this. I gotta buy this. Damn. Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's a load of nonsense right there. The Jaguar. Yeah, and all that. The Genesis. Now, some of you may not know that back in the day, there was actually more than one console. It wasn't just Nintendo and Sega. You know, it wasn't just them. It was other companies as well. The Sega CD. Man, I mean, as soon as I get to something interesting, I'm going to stop and talk about that more. Now, you may think this is a huge waste of space, but that's not really the case. I mean, this is really information that people needed to know about. Doom. Man, it's like, this was like shortly before the time of the controversy with video games, and sure, there was this rating system, but no one actually paid attention to it. I mean, if you wanted a game, you just had to tell your parents that, you know, Mom, Dad, can I buy this? Mummy, Daddy, can I please have this? Oh, wait a minute. Now, this was something that I played, the Samurai Showdown series. You know, Charlotte, Genzo, and everyone like that. Yeah. I mean, I remember on my way to school, there was this store, this Chinese store that used to sell Chinese stuff, and they would have these arcade machines, and they had like Metal Slug and Samurai Showdown and Fatal Fury. Used to play that. Used to waste all the quarters we had though. But at the same time, it was really good, because if you actually got good at it, then you could basically say that, yeah, I'm good at it. Oh my god, Donkey Kong. Now, Donkey Kong. Oh my god. Now this was one of the first games for the Super Nintendo that I remember people talking about and really playing. This wasn't the first, but this was definitely one of the reasons why you bought a Super Nintendo. I mean, come on, it's Donkey Kong. This was one of the role players that, you know, this is like one of those original ones from the 80s. I also remember that there was a little bit of controversy that the Japanese, they didn't really like the fact that, you know, this was done by this Rare company, and that they thought that it was repetitive and actually useless. You know, how could you go across a scrolling level repeatedly and still find it fun? But the levels, they were just beautiful to look at. It was just incredible, the detail in the scenery, the colors, the music. In a way, you didn't really mind doing the levels again. And in a way you had to, like to collect all the bananas, to spell the word Kong, you know, K-O-N-G. Some of this was really good. Yeah. First of like 3 Donkey Kongs. So many bad guys. That was it. That was it. And some of these I never really bothered to learn about, read about, because, you know, what was there really to do? Damn. Now we get into the sports. I mean, I was never really into sports games to begin with. I mean, why play sports when you can simply watch it on your television? You know, what was the point of that? I never really bothered like to understand it. I mean, there was really no point. At least I didn't think so. Even though I knew some people who actually played sports, and I've heard of people who only bought sports games. They didn't buy anything else for their consoles. Look at that, the sports page. There we go. If you're watching this video and you like your sports games, I got one for you right here. Look at this. The FIFA 3DO. Look at that. Acclaim. Super Nintendo. Look at that. Look at that. Hockey 95. Jeez. Look at that. Madden 95. For the Game Boy. Some of you kids may be saying, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? You know, what is that? Some kind of Game Boy? Come on. I mean, we all had our things, you know? I need to focus this a little bit better, too. There we go. I'm like halfway through this first part, and now I only adjusted the focus. So I'm kind of sorry if you saw something that you like, but you say, hey, I couldn't see that. Can you focus it a little bit more? Oh, Final Fantasy 3. Super Nintendo, not the PlayStation, by the way. Holy hell. Now, I remember that this game was re-released, and this was called like Final Fantasy 6. You know? Because, you know, Squaresoft didn't think that here in America and the Western countries that we could handle these kind of Final Fantasies. So they said, forget it. Let's release it, then we'll forget about it. Then re-release it all those years later, like that. That's nonsense. Well, Space Invaders. Go back to the 80s, go back even further. Man, this is... Now this is back when like people really used to advertise. Look at this, 2 pages for an advertisement. And back then, you would actually look at the advertisements, not just go along. SWAT Pro. I mean, people would actually spend all their time trying to find codes and send it in. I have to admit, I was like that too. Like to get my name featured in one of these magazines. Oop. That was good. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop the video. Ooh, Killer Instinct. Yeah, that's awesome. Orchid, Jacob, Glacius, Cinder. Man, this is like, it sounds crummy now, but it was really good back then. Alright. Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 3. I have to admit, I remember playing the first and second, but when the third came out, the developer changed companies, and personally, I lost interest in the whole thing. I mean, to me, in a way, it wasn't really Mortal Kombat anymore. I guess that's just me. I mean, there went to be like I don't know how many sequels, but you know, this is where it was. You know, like it wasn't by Acclaim anymore. It was by Williams, some company named Williams. I wasn't really sure of that, so I kind of thought that was funny. But I guess it was a good game if you know you were into that kind of thing. But then we got Virtua Fighter. Look at that. This is the first Virtua Fighter. You know, look at that. It's a previews. This Mortal Kombat is previews for the Sega Saturn. Look at this. Quote, look at this. This is what it says here. Everyone's waiting for news about Sega Saturn, which is out or sold out, that is in Japan. Launched in late November, the system and the first round of games flew off the shelves. Here's a preview of Virtua Fighter, one of the first games available for the system. At first glance, Virtua Fighter looks to be one of the most accurate arcade-to-home transitions to date, especially for a first-generation game. The head-to-head fighting action also boasts some updated capabilities. For example, there's configuration editing for some of the levels, a new 2-player versus mode, and a ranking mode. The action includes all 8 fighters from the original game, and as well as the original boss Drool. Quote, you can see it right there, D-R-U-L, Drool, not Dural. The game's original moves are also intact, including combos. The character movements are also identical to those in the arcade version, and the scaling and rotation is mind-blowing. Minor glitches with some of the polygons, including a slight flicker, don't hamper the action a bit. If you think you've heard cool sound in a CD system, just wait until you hear the Saturn. Virtua Fighter rocks from start to finish, giving the game near perfect audio drive. My God, 1995. Holy hell, look at this. GamePro, November of 1995. Take me back, please. Look at that, blocks. This is how it was. Boys and girls, this is how games were. It wasn't about the all cool graphics. It wasn't about outdoing the competitor. It was about simply making a good game. Now we have some more, and that will be it for my only issue of GamePro from 1995. Well, that's it. Now some of you might be saying, why do you have all these books? Couldn't you just find this information out on the internet? Well, boys and girls, this was before the internet was mainstream. Not a lot of people actually had the internet. So, when you don't have the internet, what did you actually do? You actually bought books to learn about information regarding games. So I'm going to probably skip a little bit, but I'm definitely going to go to 1996, which I think is a very important year in gaming. We're going to do March of 1996 and February 96. Look at this. We're going to start with this. Street Fighter Alpha. I want to hear something if you play Street Fighter. I did. Oh my god, this is awesome. Okay. And then I'm probably going to make the whole part of this episode about this. Look. First look at Nintendo's Ultra 64. This is before it was called Nintendo 64. So we're definitely going to talk about that too. Well, oh, look at this. The book is so old that look at the cover is coming off. But you know, this is how it goes. Like I said, I'm probably gonna talk about Street Fighter, Earthworm Jim, and Ultra 64. That's basically the only things we're talking about in this book right now. Chrono Trigger. I should have played this game, but I didn't, and that haunts me. We all have games that we never played, but later on we realized that we should have. And for me, this is one of them. So we're moving on. Man, this is it. I'm trying to get the best camera angle so you can see this. See this real good. So we're moving on. Oh my god, look at that, look at that. Ultra hype for the Ultra 64. We're going to talk about it. As soon as I find it, we're going to talk about it. Alright, alright. And look at this. In 1996, we already see Sega falling behind in sales. Look at this. Sony has captured the upper hand over Sega in 32-bit hardware. February 1996 and Sega already has problems. It's very sad if you really think about it. Is this it? No, this can't be it. Just 2 pages? Come on! Look at that. Made in America. This was back when America actually used to make games. Okay, hold on a minute. The book is falling back on me. Let me just get it. Hold on. Well, I just checked the contents, and this really is it. Looky here. The Japanese Nintendo 64 becomes the American Ultra 64 this April. Note the system's 4 controller ports. You see, back in the day, there was only 2 controller ports, like the Genesis, the Saturn, the Nintendo, the PlayStation. They all had 2 ports standard. This was the first to actually have more than 1 port, if that was actually really needed anyway. Now, the Ultra 64, that was what the Nintendo 64 was called at the time. Also, it was doing something new for the first time called a memory card. I hate the memory card. See, a memory card slides into the bottom of the controller. The controller also has a trigger mounted underneath. The Z button. Do you remember that, viewers? The Z button. Now, look at this. The tri-grip controller makes button configurations possible. Multiple button configurations, meaning you could press the Z button, the B button, the A button, and the R button all at the same time. Look at that. Announced for Japan. Bowl 64, Pilot Wings, Super Mario. Look at all this. Cruisin' USA, Doom 64, Turok, Star Fox, GoldenEye, Killer Instinct, everything. Super Mario 64. All of that. Oh my god. Oh, bloody hell, look at this. Nintendo 64 and Ultra 64 tech specs. Price, 25,000 yen in Japan, $250 US. I'm guessing that's maybe 325 pounds, maybe 500 Canadian dollars, something like that. Dimensions: 10.23 inches wide times 7.43 inches long, almost 3 inches high. The CPU, 64-bit, clock speed, 93 MHz, compressor, and memory. Remember, this is 1996, and this is the most advanced software that Nintendo could come up with at the time. So, we're going to move on. And let's see, do we have anything else? Let us see. Oh, we got more Virtua Fighter. An international view on games. Virtua Fighter Mania. We have a Virtua Fighter animated series. Look at that. A movie spin-off. Virtua Fighter the movie, 1996. That never happened. I don't think it did. That's how it goes. We're going to move on. I don't really see anything worth talking about. Oh my god, wait, I want to talk about this real quick. Back in the day when Street Fighter Alpha came out, I remember me and my friends, we used to talk about this ad. I mean, look at that. Just a reminder, you can now play Street Fighter Alpha in the comfort of your own home. I mean, this was back when people actually made advertisements that really caught your eye. They were really great to look at. And I know some of you watching have thought the same thing. Because this was back when people actually knew what they were doing. Look at that, Mega Man X3. Man. This is it. Oh, wait, here we go, yeah. Earthworm Jim. That was it, that was good. Now, we're still moving along. Oh, wait. Virtua Cop. Now, this was something I definitely played in the arcades. Now, I can imagine some of you are those kind of gamers that like to play the shoot 'em up kind of things, that you like your gun and you shoot. I used to play this in the arcades too. Like, they had like the shotgun, the machine gun, the magnum, the rifle, the automatic pistol. Yeah, like, shoot that, pretend you was a cop. And I heard that actual cops used to train with those kind of games. They still do in a way. Alright, we're moving on. Book's done, almost done. Where is Earthworm Jim? In the 90s, you saw that show in America. If you were in America, you saw that show. There is no other thing. There is no saying. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. Yep. Alright, that's it. Here is another game that I never played, and that haunts me too. I mean, I know a lot of people here play that. Damn, man, you say, what kind of games did you play then? Yeah, I played a lot. Now, this is where I was talking about, Earthworm Jim. I can imagine a lot of you also watched the TV show in the 90s, you know, Earthworm Jim, he's such a groovy guy, Earthworm Jim, his suit came from the sky. You know, the TV show with Princess What's-Her-Name, and, you know, the puppies, and the grannies. Where is it? Where's the grannies? Hold on. Yeah, Earthworm Jim. Yeah, I knew that. The falling grannies. Damn. And Evil the cat. Oh my god, I remember all this still. Then with the Utterly Abducted, where you actually had to do the cows and the UFO and everything like that. And then the inflated. Oh damn, look at that. Oh man. Oh! If you ever played a fighting game in the mid-90s, this was perhaps one of the games that you played. I mean, you did it. Look at that Ryu. I mean, I could play the game, but I was never one that was able to do all these kinds of combos. You know? Like 10-hit combo, 5-hit combo. You know? Damn. I wonder who did you play as? Everyone had their particular character, and they always said that I was the best at this character. I was this character. You cannot beat me when I play as this character. Damn. That was it. And here's the end of another issue, and that's it. Well, the cover just came off the book as also, but that's okay. It's from 1996, so that's alright. Alright, let me just get everything ready for the next one. Ultra 64 and Donkey Kong Country 2 and Street Fighter Alpha again! So I just opened the cover and I just skimmed through a few pages before I came up to Nintendo 64 again. Nintendo's shaking things up with Super Mario 64. Look at this, all back in the day. Then we have Kirby. Then we have Pilot Wings. This could have seriously been a franchise if this was taken seriously. But it was just a regular game, and that's it. No one really wanted to do it. You know? It's a shame, though. Alright, we got... Oh my gosh, Super Mario Kart. Man. Star Wars. Alright, we're still moving on. Alright, are we here? Is there anything worth looking at for you viewers? No, not really. Where is it? We're still looking over here. At the same time, I can imagine a lot of people, you know, they didn't really, you know, some games they liked, some games they didn't. I mean, this was back when people actually advertised games, not like now when you don't really see games advertised on TV, at least not here in America. Alright, there we go. We're still moving on. This is it right here. Sports. It's sports. Oh wait, oh, look, now we got Donkey Kong again. Yep, Diddy is back, and Donkey Kong is missing. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna find Donkey Kong? And we got Dixie too. Everyone's here. This is it. Alright, let's see. Where are we?